This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. What does your future hold? It's time to find out with Psychic Suzanna.
Yes, you are right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on KFAB. Now, you can always find us at PsychicSuzanna.com, where you get a free question, you get my schedule, all of that is there. Or you could go to KFAB.com and you'll find all the old shows. They're all up there. I want you to take a look at them. See what can help you. So many of our shows have been by authors that have inspirational messages, tell you how to get through your drama in your life. We're all in this together. You help your brother and they'll help you. So I want you to reach out a little bit more and help each other out as we go through this thing called life. By the way, this show is centered around you and your life, finding answers for the questions you have. Please join me on Facebook at Susanna Stickney. Our Life with Psychic Suzanna. I've been very bad at taking care of that. And as you do on Susanna Stickney, on Facebook and Twitter, you'll know what's coming up on the show each week. Today we have a really cool author coming on, and we'll be talking to her in a few minutes. Before that, I want to give you some insights about what we're going to be doing this show. We are going to be taking your calls. We haven't had much time for your calls, so we're going to try to do more calls today than usual. So please give us a call at 1-800-543-1110 or 402-558-1110. We are going to take your calls. We're going to take your questions live on air. So get a hold of us at 1-800-543-1110 or 402-558-1110. This show, again, centered around you. You know, when we get back after the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about the dangerous animals and all the things that went down on that. And we're going to talk about a lot of issues with that. But right now, if you go to KFAB.com, you can, or PsychicSuzanna.com, you can find the shows that are on job hunting, how to present yourself well, how to get a job, how to market it. But I want you to know one thing. If there's not a job opening, the job opening you want may not be at this moment. So you keep pursuing, you keep looking. You check out our 2 shows we've done with the guerrilla job hunters. That was a great show, and that'll give you a lot of new ideas how to reach people in a different way. We also have one on presentation by Rita Rocker. Check that one out. The show, again, all about you. And right now, I think we're going to get ready to do our interview. Jim, beautiful weather today.
It wasn't bad. I mean, 70s and this late into October?
Isn't that amazing?
Farmers probably like that, huh? Get out there and get that harvest in.
I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know.
Come on, it's the Midwest. You
I'll
at least
pretend
have a
I
clue,
don't know.
you?
Did you play this week by any chance?
No, I didn't play any softball. Season actually ended last Thursday.
It ended last Thursday.
It did.
So do you become a couch potato then?
Slightly.
Okay.
I get into more reading in the winter.
Okay.
That's why I catch up on my books.
Well, you do know this show centers around good books.
Oh, yeah.
So you're in the right place to find the right books.
Oh, hey, I picked one up today. They have a table over yonder.
Okay.
And I snagged one.
Shh.
Yeah.
But,
Well, no,
the library,
we're supposed to.
Half-price books, they're all wonderful things.
Expand the mind.
Have you ever gone to half-price books?
Yes.
I love that place.
On Center? Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah,
our bookstores. And now with the iPad, wonderful. By the way, you don't have iHeart on your phone.
No, I'm one of those cheapos.
I have iHeart on my phone, and that totally rocks. So if you have a program on your phone, a good phone, Download iHeart. You can catch this show. You can catch any of the shows 24/7 on iHeart. How cool is that?
Or go to the KFAB website. Go to shows and podcasts. I was listening to Voorhees' show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about those animals there in Ohio. It was cracking me up, but also, entertaining too. But
a little sad too.
Yeah.
Little sad too.
That was a little crazy.
But we're going to go to that, and we're going to talk all about that. But right now, let's go to our interview. Okay, we'll be right back. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. She knew I was going to say that.
This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can always find us at PsychicSuzanna.com or KFAB.com, where you can listen to the shows after they're up on air by Tuesday. Scott gets them up there. You can also go to Psychic Suzanna and get a free question, or you can go to KFAB. All the weather, all the news, anything you need to know about the Omaha and the surrounding area, you'll find it at KFAB. Join me on Life with Psychic Suzanna. You'll find out who is coming up on the show, and Susanna Stickney on Twitter and Facebook. All of that will give you information to what's happening right now. And right now, I have someone who's going to tell us how to be a genius. I want to welcome to the phone Gina Rudan. Hello, Gina.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you for having me. Hello.
Tell me the name of your book.
The name of my book is Practical Genius, the real smarts you need to get your passions and talents working for you.
As I was reading your biography and how this book came about, I was really pretty excited about the fact of how it came about. Can you tell us the story?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I had always had a passion for writing and used to wake up in the middle of the night to sneak out of bed to write. And 4 years ago, I had a life-changing experience where I went to have some corrective, pretty routine eye surgery and got a rare infection and had temporary blindness. And I had to have 3 surgical washes to clear up my infection and get my sight back. And it was during that temporary blindness that I realized that I needed to change my life and I needed to focus on my passion project, which was interviewing amazing people around the world and setting out to write a book to redefine genius as a choice versus a gift. And my message is a simple one. It's a practical one. And I'm encouraging people not to wait for a life change or something dramatic to happen to them to really set out to follow the legacy that they really want to leave behind. So that's the backstory behind Practical Genius, which launched this week. And I'm really happy to be sharing the message with you.
Well, now, as I understand it, you were blind for 3 days, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so your thought process while you're blind for 3 days, not expecting to be blind for 3 days.
No.
We're all about miracles here. We love to know that people can conquer anything. And so
it's so true.
And so by going through what you did, blindness, tell me your thought process, though.
Sure. So 3 nights I laid in the guest room where my eyes were bandaged up, and I was praying for the healing process, and I had this vision of myself and the life I wanted to lead, and, I joke about it. I don't know if it was the Xanax I was on or spiritual advisors getting me through the experience, but I clearly saw that I was living a very different life, and I knew that if I got my eyesight back, that I would, resign from corporate America and dedicate my life to this writing. And it was a big life change. And the first day of the recession, I followed that vision, and I have had huge success because of it. Huge success.
And you kept your vision and you kept your goals, and that's what a genius is, isn't it? It's someone tell us what a
absolutely.
How do you describe
I'm redefining genius as the place between our hearts and our mind. It's the place where we're doing what we love and what we care most about. And in a practical way, for all the listeners to really assess where their genius is, I invite people to look at it as 6 ingredients, 6 simple ingredients that we all possess in identifying our genius. And the first set of ingredients are the soft side of who we are, and those are your creative abilities, your passions, and your values.
What if they've never touched into their creative ability and their passion? How do we go about finding that? I mean, you're talking a good game, but most people have never thought of what they love to do. So is there a question we can ask ourselves? Tell me.
Absolutely. So and it's unfortunate that it's true, a lot of us have not cultivated our passions and our creative abilities and may think, well, you know what, Gina, I don't have any creative abilities and this is a waste of time. I would encourage them to stop and to begin to explore and experiment and lead with curiosity and what I call taste different things. So maybe it's remembering what your creative passions were as a child, as a teenager. Maybe it's taking inventory of anything you've done, even once, even if it was on vacation or during a random workshop that you got a gift card for, but really taking inventory of what are areas in your life, areas around you that you're curious about. And I invite people to, even in a simple way, to go online and to just search those areas of curiosity. You'd be surprised what happens when you scratch a little bit at that curiosity. It begins to show itself. So if you haven't paid attention to your creative side, I invite you to taste different creative outlets in your community during your spare time, even during your workday, and begin to explore. Self-exploration is the first step in identifying assets that we possess that we may have been ignoring for a long time.
Otherwise, what you're saying is get engaged.
Oh, get engaged. Get curious.
That's
test
it.
And taste.
That's it. Step 2. Tell me what step 2 is.
Step 2 is express your genius. So once you've identified your ingredients, and I didn't share the hard assets, but the hard assets, the second set of ingredients that contribute to your genius, are your expertise, your skills, and your strengths. This is the resume you. This is the side of you that you've been probably obsessed for, over most of your life. So that's the second part of step 1. But after you've identified all 6 ingredients, you've got the soft side, you've got the hard side, you're clear, you're ready to begin to think about how are you expressing yourself. It's time to tell your story. How are you cultivating your own ability at sharing your story with the world as both an editor and a listener? So within this chapter, I invite my readers to really look at sharing their whole selves online and offline in a very strategic way. So this chapter is dedicated to communication strategy, because what use is it if you've identified where your genius is in your life and you're not expressing it?
A lot of times when people come to my appearances and I see them and they think they have no talent and, and they're great homemakers. I couldn't make a home if you asked me to. I mean, I don't know, but there are certain people that can organize and can do things and they don't see themselves as doing this. How do you help us to identify ourselves as what we love to do?
So those that are exercising genius and are not identifying at that, I think it's really looking at or having conversations with those around you that are, just as you're telling these homemakers, this is amazing what you're able to produce, the environment you're able to curate for your family and your friends and your community. If you're unclear of what you do, what you're doing extremely well, I would ask those around you and have them hold up a mirror to your greatest assets. So a lot of times we have a lot of self-doubt or we don't acknowledge what we're doing really well and what we love, but others around us that care about our genius and contributing to it can definitely shed some light. So I always encourage people to have conversations around their 6 ingredients with those around them.
Okay, that would have been step 3, wouldn't it? Surround yourself with genius. Okay. Tell me about step 4.
Surround yourself with genius is again about just being very strategic with who you curate and bring into your life. And once you have a wonderful new army of folks alongside you, you're ready to sustain your genius, which is step 4. And this is really recommendations around lifestyle, around making sure you listen to your spirit, you listen to your intuitive side, feed your mind with the right superfoods, find the play in your life, the art in your life, the symphony in your life, which really does fuel genius, and pay attention to the body. I interviewed Dr. Christian Northrup, and she said, we're not a brain on a stick, Gina. And I couldn't agree with her more. So it's important as we sustain our genius to look at the body and what we're doing to fuel it. And I also recommend shutting down and bringing back the power of sleep. I don't think that enough of us are sleeping enough. And again, about really curating your life around input versus output. So setting your day up, your week up, your month up, all your experiences around feeding and fueling yourself versus just depleting yourself through a to-do list or a result-driven obsession.
So actually what you're saying in step 4 is to sustain yourself. Otherwise, sometimes might have to be pulling away from the negative people around us who don't fuel our genius.
Absolutely. There's people fall into 2 categories. People that make you feel better about yourself and those that make you feel. I'm recommending that everyone really pay attention to surrounding themselves with people that fuel and help sustain your genius.
Okay. Then we're going to go to the next one, which would be step 5, isn't it?
Yes. The last step of the process is market your genius, and this is where the rubber meets the road. And here I'm talking about the bittersweet paradox that we all have. I think everyone has opposing forces in their identity, and instead of hiding one side of yourself, I'm encouraging people as they build personal brands, as they set out to market themselves, whether they're looking for a new job, looking for a promotion, looking for a new partner, to really embrace those beautiful opposing forces and to market your whole identity without apology. The bittersweet sides to who we are matter. It gives you greater visibility. It's provocative. It's smart, and it offers greater authenticity overall. And then I recommend that readers, set out to identify the right audience and give advice and tips on how to attract and engage and basically broadcast your genius across the audience you're trying to grow, online and offline.
One of the things that I find with people with genius are with their talents, that there is a part of them that doesn't want to vocal them, that are afraid. Do you give us tips on how we can have the courage to state our genius? I think a lot of people don't have the courage to state their genius.
One easy way to think about it is I really believe it's our social responsibility to some degree to share everything we know within our communities, within our organizations. We're living in a really difficult period of history, and so I encourage people, if it's just one person at a time, to begin to express and vocalize and share all sides of yourself because we need it. So I think some of this is a little bit of our responsibility. We no longer can just sit happy and fat in silence. We really do need innovative, problem-solving, creative, non-traditional minds contributing to the growth of our communities and our organizations. So I encourage people to take it as their social responsibility and say, hey, I want to be part of the solution. And part of that responsibility is truly expressing and exuding your innate, unique genius.
So one of the things that I always think about is that it's not what we do for ourselves that counts in life, but it's what we're doing for others that really counts in life. So what you're telling us is that we can no longer not be engaged with people, and we cannot be engaged with our inner glory and our inner genius. Correct?
That's absolutely right, Susanna. We have to engage others, and you hit it on the mark, and that service leadership is something I write about. And when you are in service to a community, a group of people, whether it's young people, whether it's an environmental agenda, whatever your cause of choice is, it's also a great way to market and share your genius is through service. Service always trumps anything else you can do. So another simple tip is get involved in your community, marry a cause, be part of the solution, and begin to express your genius in that way. So
do you believe we all have this genius? Do you believe
Absolutely. Every single one of us possesses genius. We just have to spend the time and the analysis and the self-evaluation to find out where it flourishes well.
Now, your book, Practical Genius, I thought was well written and easy to get to each of these chapters and had a great clarity. What else would you like to tell us about the book and why we should get the book?
Thank you. I think that Practical Genius, some people are referring to it as a portable mentor. It's an easy read. Again, every chapter has exercises and also wonderful profiles.
I love that. I love the closing, how each chapter is complete. So you don't have to you don't have to pick up the book and read the whole thing. You can pick it up and read one part, and that part is complete unto itself. I love that. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, thank you. the summing up at the end, I think it's useful.
Yeah.
I looked for this book on many a shelf and didn't find it because it's a little bit of business motivation and self-help, and I ended up writing the book that I longed for, that touches on both the business side of who I am as an entrepreneur, but also the soft side of who I am as a creative, as a writer, as a mother, as a as a social entrepreneur. So I encourage everyone to pick it up, and you can find me at practicalgenius.com and continue the conversation there.
And that's what's important. You have to be engaged in life. You can't think about it. You can't sit in front of the TV and let it entertain you. You go out and entertain other people. I really want to thank you for being on air with us. You have been a great inspiration.
Thank you.
And I look forward to talking to you again, Gina, and looking forward to your other books. This is Gina Rudan. The Practical Genius is the name of the book. It's within us all. Bring out your genius. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. We will be right back.
This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Yes, this is Life with Psychic Suzanna. Was that not an interesting? So we all have passion. We all have something we can do that we love. And we just got to find it. I love this book. It's a very exciting book. I want you to come back with us afterwards. We're going to be taking your call. We're going to start off with Janice and her call. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna. You come right back. We're going to talk. Find us at PsychicSuzanna.com or KFAB.com. This is the show. This is the station. This is the only place you want to be for all the latest news, info, and what's going on in your life. One of the questions I'm going to ask, and we're going to talk to the people on our stations, we're going to ask you what your favorite song is. How do you inspire? I find music inspires me wonderfully, and we're coming back with Gina, Michelle, and Crash. They're going to tell us the songs that inspire them. What would you think it would be? Pretty interesting. Life with Psychic Suzanna. We're ready for your calls. 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the news. As we are very relaxed and at peace, because we're sitting on the dock of the bay, this is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can always find us at PsychicSuzanna.com or KFAB.com. That is the place you find all the things you need to know. PsychicSuzanna.com has my schedule. You get a free question. KFAB.com, news, weather, sports, latest info. If there's a problem, we're covering it. And you can go to the website or stay tuned to the station to hear it. Okay? So even if you're sitting on the dock of the bay, you download iHeart and you listen to our station because it's the only one you want to listen to, okay? No matter where you are, because you always want to know what's going on in your hometown, and we've got it covered. You know, the show is centered around you and around your life, helping you to get answers to the questions you need. That's why we're taking your calls right now. The number is 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. We go with your name and your age. Now, let me tell you why we do that. Because as a psychic, I call myself an extension cord between you and spirit. So when you give me your age, I try to jump into that point in your life and tell you what is coming up. Now, sometimes I'm off on timing, and it's basically because life is fluid, and isn't it cool that anything a psychic sees can be changed? So let's go to the lines. We're waiting for your calls. 1-800-543-1110, 558